And now, coming to you from the Pensado Media Center, powered by Westlake Pro.
His Chainsmoker records are bananas. Plus, he's Canadian, yes. From Russia, the winner of the recent Indaba Converse contest.
Yay.
Gear Expo Nashville, it's in the works.
Yes.
Blackbird Sessions, also in the works. AES, 2 weekends from now. We are international up in here. You are at the place. It's Pensado's place.
Yay. You guys are always welcome. Glad you dropped by. Ladies, too. Herbert, how you doing, buddy?
You know, you're the one with new speakers.
Oh, you got? I'll be back in a little bit, okay?
Your Oxburgers are just killing. We'll talk about those in a second.
I tell you what.
Pretty good, right?
You know what's funny is when you get a pair of speakers that you really, really like, the first thing we engineers do is go back and play everything we've ever done for like a whole day, you know?
How'd it sound?
Some good, some can be improved. That's what you want from a speaker. But the speakers themselves, man, we speak the same language. There's no translation going on there.
Osberger and Dave and the team, Dave and Drew and those guys really get down. Shall we get to it?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Hi, gang. Trust that your week was audio fantastic. Hope you can join us for some of the upcoming live events. First, let's tip a cap to our partners. They are the Blackbird Academy, Vintage King, Lander, DTS, Avid, Fab Factory, Recording Connection, and Studio 202 DC. All right, grab your calendars. Let's get something. Let's mark them. We'll wait. Got them? Okay, Dave has his. Here we go. 2 weekends from now, we are at AES in Los Angeles. We'll be hanging around.
How do you spell AES?
AES. Now pronounce that.
Yes. Culito.
There we go. 2 weekends from now, we're at AES in LA. We'll be hanging around at a couple of our friends' booth. You want to come down on Friday. We will be at Westlake Pro's booth.
Yeah.
We'll be at Anthion's booth. We'll be at a couple different places. Yeah. On Saturday at 1 p.m., Dave will be hanging out at the aforementioned Oxburger booth, where those great speakers came from.
You got to come by.
There's going to be a really cool Q&A there. That booth is number 211. I think I'll pop by and see you. Okay. Also on Saturday later, now you want to be at this one. If you want to party a bit, get some free stuff, at 3 p.m., free drinks on us, a bunch of giveaways at the Audionamics booth right at the entrance to AES. The entrance is called the Avid Pavilion, and Audionamics is in Pod 5. Free drinks, free giveaways, free gear. That sounds like a party to me, right?
Especially with the other participants from the company itself.
I hung out with them last Saturday. I've not recovered yet. So we will continue. This schedule will be up on our website. Make sure you take a look. Yeah. But get there early for that Audionamics thing. See us at Oxburger. And then Friday we'll be running around and get.
If you see us anywhere, stop us.
Stop us. Say hello. We want to thank you for the support and all the rest of the good stuff. Take a picture, sign an autograph.
You know what would be fun, Herb?
What's that, man?
If they went to all of our sponsors' booths and just said hello.
It would be.
Just say hello to them. Tell them you appreciate what they're doing. You appreciate the fact they work hard to make us tools and other concepts that help what we do to make a living and to have fun and hobbies. And that helps us. That helps everybody. All boats rise on an incoming tide. So we want these guys to make better tools always.
Tell them Pensado sent you. Right?
I'm down with that.
Now to Gear Expo Nashville. If you've never been, please come on down. If you have been, you know it's going to be fun. It's a great way to spend a Saturday. The date, October 22nd at the Vintage King facility in Music City. We'll have a songwriters panel featuring writers with hits on Blake Shelton, Sam Hunt, Darius Rucker, Kelly Pickler, and more. Yeah. Even George Strait, the all-time god. We'll also have some songwriters from the rock and pop area along with country. We're putting together a super producers panel, and we'll announce those things next week. It's going to be pretty hot. We've got calls out for a lot of the local legends to come by, like F. Reed Shippen and Jakir King and Vance Powell, Mitch Dane, a whole bunch of other folks, and we're getting some good responses. They're going to be there. You'll get to meet them. Going to get a special performance done from the comeback story of the year. A buddy of ours that we talked a lot about during Pensado Awards. We're going to show you his musical gifts along with a couple other badasses. Stay tuned for that. We'll share that next week. We'll also be doing a panel called Gigs You Didn't Know Existed in Audio. Now, these might be career things that you never really thought about. We're going to go touch a number of different places that are not so obvious.
I'm happy we're doing that.
And it's really interesting to us. There's so many places that your skills apply that you didn't think about. So we're going to try to show you that. And what's a hallmark of Pensado stuff? Loads of giveaways from hardware and software from our great manufacturing partners. So you know you're going to get some freebies. Sign up right away. Go to thegearexpo.com. You see it right here, this URL. Sign up. They're signing up fast. I think we were at 400 or 500 last time I checked. So get there, get your place, and come hang out with us. It's a chance for us to see you and thank you. It's a chance to take a picture with you and sign an autograph and thank you for the support. Hang out. It is the audio block party of the year. We always get it done, and we're looking forward to it. And finally, for all of you guys who want to take a leap in your career, and I'm talking about a giant leap, if you want an intensive deep dive from the best teacher on the planet, if you want to take this opportunity at Gear Expo and extend it for a week, sign up for the Blackbird sessions with Professor Pensado here. Here's what happens. In 1 week, you'll record and mix a band. Your own work will be evaluated. You will learn technique, philosophy, tricks from the pros, and likely pick up a mentor for life. Those people who picked up a mentor for life and this guy, me, turns out pretty good. Turns out pretty good. Well, it's true. It's true. Come on, man. You're all humble. We know what it means. So I'm just telling you, I've gone to all of them. I've spoken to each class. I'll be doing it at this class. So I get to talk to the students and find out how they feel about the investment they made and what they got out of it. And invariably, it satisfied customers. For information, email karma@theblackbirdacademy.com or go to the website, which is theblackbirdacademy.com. It's going to be well worth it. You're going to enjoy it. It's something you enjoy doing.
Man, nobody has more fun and nobody learns more than me. Every year it starts filling up near the end, so get in early. I don't want to have to hear somebody whining about not getting in, and then I have to go to the parking lot every day after we're done and teach them after that.
Right. Well, at least you're committed that level.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, you know what? I'm going to take a second on this because it's important to me. The people that come to these events, and I'm talking about you, we're all equal. There's no one guy or one person that's above another. We collaborate, we talk, we help each other, and it's a great way to advance your knowledge. It's a great way to pick up some new knowledge. And we had one guy one time that was, the only reason he was there was to increase his business in Arkansas. Remember that guy? And it's just a wonderful, wonderful weekend for me. So I'm being selfish when I say, please come, okay?
Here's one other little value add. Blackbird Studios, likely one of the top 2 or 3 studios in the world.
I think it's the best.
You will learn it from top to bottom, every room, the school. It's a tremendous experience.
Yeah, it really is.
So if you get a chance, do that. It's also, I'll tell you what's interesting, is when the teacher is stimulated, that's a good sign. This is, you kind of get at your highest for the sessions in the year.
Actually, I do. But Blackbird in itself is worth the price of admission. I'm just the icing on the cake. It's amazing.
It's a great thing. So let's make sure you get to the URL that you see below me. You can go to blackbirdacademy.com or you can hit karma@theblackbirdacademy.com with an email and get all the information.
Oh, one other thing, I'm so sorry.
Yes.
I haven't talked about this before, but I think this is a value add for me. My assistant during that, of course, is going to be Leandro, but the assistant that I use at Blackbird is Ernesto. And this guy, I'm not lying, he's way better than me. He's really, really amazing. He's making incredible records. He's going to drop by and help us again. And I pick his brain, and you guys can do that too. He gives you access to a lot of information that I don't have. And I wanted to thank him personally for coming by and helping me out. He's losing money doing it, but he's a great guy. And that's how much you guys mean to him.
If you get a chance, go. It's a great opportunity for you. Now let's meet the traveling topographer who taxied all around Times Square this week. He goes by the name of... John Gold.
When did we go to T?
I had to. My H's were not working.
H is a horrible letter.
It was hard, man. I was out of it. So
I was going through it. I'm like, wait.
Okay, I catch you off guard?
No, I saw the T's coming. I'm like.
So your first trip to New York.
Oh man, it was amazing.
You were there to do business.
Yep.
You happened to be there in Manhattan when the bomb went off.
Yeah, well, I was coming into the city, but yeah, it was
That's
It
crazy.
was crazy. Times Square was full of armed guards. It was
That's crazy.
Frank Filippetti's amazing, isn't he?
such a cool guy.
Such a cool guy.
We did some really great stuff. Can't wait for that to come out.
Can't wait to see it.
So Chongor was there shooting some curriculum, one of the things that we do. Had his first experience in New York by himself, and it will change you, won't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it really does.
I'm going
change
back
you.
soon.
Well, welcome back. It's good to see you. It's a pleasure to finally have on the Indaba Converse Mix winner. This was a contest that was viewed by a ton of people, somewhere north of 500,000 folks, if I remember correctly. Is that correct, Chongor? Yep. Some crazy number. And Dave ended up judging like the final 10 or 15 or something like that.
1,000.
Yeah, 10 or 15,000, right. And ultimately, our winner is Alexei McCoy Makarenko. He is in Russia, correct? He's joining us by Skype. His friend with him, who they work together on stuff, is Igor. And we wanted to congratulate you on being a winner and welcome to Pensado's Place, man.
Alexei.
And also hello from Russia.
It's great.
Much respect from Russia.
And much respect back to the motherland. It's good to see you. The one thing that is really interesting, I can tell you on behalf of my partner, is we have a great relationship with Indaba. We have a great relationship with Converse, and we take these contests really seriously. So when I'm telling you that Dave judged these things very carefully, he really does. You beat out a lot of people globally to win this. So hats off to you. Congratulations, man. That's a real skill set. Tell them how you judge it.
Well, what I did, guys, is I had 10 categories, and those are categories that I felt would help me choose the winner. So I'll go over them real quick. Well, you know what? Let's do this. I'll go over them and explain to you a few of them, how you scored and why you won, okay? First of all, are you an engineer, Alexei? Do you earn a living as an engineer, or is this a hobby?
Camera.
Это для тебя работа или просто развлечение?
If it was something like hobby in past when I was younger, but now it is my work, and I really like it because I don't work
In the office.
in the office. Yes, studio is my office, and the concert place is my office.
Very-
and it's cool. I think.
Very smart man.
It's a great job.
Very smart man.
Alexei, just very quickly, tell me a couple of pieces of recording gear that you have and that you use and that you used on this mix. What equipment did you use on the mix? Do you have a console? Was it in the box? Do you use plugins?
Okay, when I started to mix this song, I think what I could use, and I decided not to use a lot of outboard, and especially all of this mix I made in the box.
Okay.
So I tried to use 1176 like outboard compressor and NIF saturator, but finally I realized that I can do everything in the box, so I use Cubase and a lot of plugins. That's all.
Let's go over this. Let's go over this list. One of the categories I judged was vocals. Now, I gave a 10 for perfect vocals and a 1 for not very good vocals. Nobody scored more than an 8. I gave you a 7 on that. I judged on balance, in other words, levels. I also judged on your EQing skills. I judged on effects. I judged on stereo field and panning. I judged on vibe and emotions. Now, on vibe and emotions, you scored an 8. You scored the highest of any mix that I gave a grade to, as an 8 on emotion and feeling and vibe. That's what's so important when you try and get your song to be purchased or loved by the audience. Now, I also had a drum category. You scored a 7, which is pretty good. Inventiveness, you scored a 7. Musicality, a 7. And then my last category was did I like it? And you scored high on that too. So
Can I tell you why?
you did everything really well.
Really well. But one of the reasons that you won is because you have such a cool beard. And everybody that has a cool beard wins. So congratulations.
And a cap, yeah?
Oh yeah. No, you look like an American brother. There, absolutely. That's good
Thanks.
stuff. Let me ask you a question. How cool is the Indaba community? Is that a cool community to be part of? We like them a lot. What do you think?
Он спрашивает, насколько клево быть вообще частью этого сообщества.
So this is cool because there are a lot of contests, and I was surprised that I saw your Pensado's Place contest on Indaba Music, and for fun I tried to mix the song, and finally I won. So I think that's cool to be part of Indaba Music.
You did pretty good. So here's some good news coming. We'll be announcing soon some more contests that we're doing with Indaba and Converse. We have lots of friends and fans in Russia. We love our friends and fans in Russia. Every now and then we'll put together a Dostovanya and we'll say hello and goodbye and thank you and all those kinds of things. Do you ever come to America?
No.
Well, we want. You do? Well.
In Philadelphia.
Whoever comes to America, we want you to come by the show and come visit us. But even if you don't, stay in touch with us, get some information back and forth. Let's stay involved. Help us meet more people in Russia, and we'll help you meet more people in America. Is that a good deal?
Yes, exactly.
Good. Igor's in. Igor's in. I got to tell you, man, we love that you watch the show. We thank you for your support. Listen, you beat out. We've done probably 6 of these contests. This was the largest group of people ever. You beat out the largest contest we've ever done and one of the largest responses Indaba's ever had. So, Alexei, good for you, man. You are a very talented guy. Very, very talented.
Thank you. We're doing a very big deal, guys.
Very talented. All right, so you'll stay close to us. You'll keep watching the show and give us some ideas. We'll keep in touch with you?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, good. Listen, pleasure to have you. Igor, Alexei, we're proud that you're parts of our family, and we're proud to be parts of your family. Congratulations. If you don't get your prizes, let us know, and we'll yell at somebody at Indaba and make sure you get them all. Welcome to Pensado's Place, and goodbye.
It's so wonderful here at Pensado's Place to know that we have fans in Russia. That's just mind-boggling. Alexei did a great job, and it feels to me like you got a good future at this. So thanks for participating. We hope to see you soon here.
All right, so we got a great guest, don't we?
Oh, beyond great.
Let's get him up here.
Let's do it.
All right. Chainsmokers, Beyonce, Jay-Z, Jay Sean, but also a tech entrepreneur, another Canadian badass. Please welcome to the place our friend, our new friend, DJ Swivel. What's happening?
Thanks for having me, guys.
Good.
Appreciate it.
Toronto, Montreal, Florida.
You're the odd man out now.
That's
No,
right.
no. Where do all fucking Canadians end up?
Well, LA apparently.
Florida.
Oh, this is true.
Florida.
Yeah, they do.
Well,
I'm more Canadian than you guys are.
you may have a point there.
We wouldn't have had air conditioning if it weren't for you guys coming down there whining about, oh, it's so hot, it's so hot.
Thank you for belittling a whole country.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
Twice today.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm totally serious. There's been times in my life where I've contemplated a move to Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
I think Toronto is a creative center that just can't be equaled anywhere.
Great city.
Beautiful city, amazing city. Vancouver too. If you ever get a chance to go to Vancouver, it is
heard good
maybe
things
the
about
most beautiful city in the
Every
world.
time somebody has something about their skill set I like in music or creativity, somebody from Paul Schaefer on down, it's always Toronto.
Toronto and Vancouver.
Yeah.
Doc,
Far away. We're
everybody.
doing a travelogue.
How has the box enhanced and given you a career? Being in the box and having that mobility and technology involved with that, guys like you and Josh Goodwin might have had a different career, right?
Yeah, I mean, I started in New York in 2000. I moved there in 2005, but really got my first real internship in 2006. And yeah, I mean, at that point, that was with Duro, and he was already sort of in the box. He had already sort of made that transition. The last piece of gear that we had that was outside the box was a Lexicon 960.
But it wasn't he wasn't mobile then.
Wasn't mobile? No, of course not mobile. But
I guess it's just
I mean,
said
outside
mobile.
of just
Yeah.
you know going to different studios
Yeah.
and whatever. And then honestly, the Pro Tools got better and plugins got better and computers got faster and I was
And
able
laptops became usable.
yeah, absolutely.
I guess my question should
yeah.
have been framed around the laptop because from Alex the Kid to Mike Dean, laptops opened up a whole new
Yeah,
profession.
you got a sense of mobility. You
Yeah,
can
I
be
mean,
anyplace.
you can move around and I mean they get the job done. My laptops right now, I'm waiting for Apple to release new ones, but it's like 5 years old and I have no problems. So yeah, I mean there's no.
we hear all the time, which has been and for probably a long part of the duration of the show, maybe going back to the second year, are folks who have mixed or even recorded in all kinds of scenarios: airplanes, hotel rooms,
Absolutely,
buses, cars, taxis, any other country.
Yeah.
Multiple sessions in multiple places, and the music sounds seamless, and nobody would ever know.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not even. There's no. I mean, I almost prefer the sound. I mean, just the flexibility of being able to open up a session and be able to bounce something out in 2 minutes and not have to recall a board and not have to drive to the studio. And
Right.
I mean, I work out of my house right now or out of my apartment. So the convenience and flexibility of that, I find that clients actually
They like.
prefer that.
I agree.
I don't. Rarely do I get a client saying, "But where's your console? Where's the?" Don't need it.
And there's not a compromise, and Dave, I'm asking you both, inside the box, the mobile box, there's not a real compromise in sound. There's not.
Well, zero. To get technical, it's the heart of it is an i7 processor, which is the exact processor in a desktop as we speak currently.
Right.
It's the same processor in my hot rod computer. So there is no difference. There is no difference. The only difference could possibly squeak in on how you get stuff in and out, but even that's equal now. And the tools are just, I mean, I'm jealous. They're
Yeah.
that good.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, when you were chasing Beyonce all over the world trying to record vocals and stuff, and by the way, I love I Care and School in Life. Maybe we can talk a little bit about that. Tell me a typical day. Just describe a typical day. You're on payroll. You got your laptop.
Because she's a worker.
Beyonce
She's a grinder.
calls.
Oh, she's, yeah, and I
Nobody
know
works
you've
harder
talked to
than
like
her.
Stu and other people who have worked with her, and she just works hard. I've never encountered anybody who has that level of work ethic. She's really not human. There's aside the fact that she's talented in those things, like
She's so
I believe
fast.
that she is where she is a large part in that her work ethic is just nobody can touch it.
I agree.
Right.
I agree.
She will live in the studio. I remember we did a session. It was 30. She was going on vacation on Sunday. We came in Friday morning, afternoon, and I thought, okay, we work Friday, we work Saturday. She'd take Sunday off and leave. We stayed in the studio for almost 40 hours straight, 35, 36 hours.
And she's as sharp at the end as
Cut-
the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, everybody gets a little tired, but we cut 6 whole songs, lead vocals, comped them, background vocals,
Jesus.
everything, 6 entire songs.
Wow.
Because she wanted to hear those songs when she went on vacation. So I don't know any artists who
Yeah, me either.
who would do that.
Me either.
You know, and to have your voice like stay strong throughout that is
She's athlete.
oh
Yeah.
She will
100%,
sneak a little
yeah,
nap in
100%.
on you once in a while.
Well, that's the thing that I like.
Like a 30-minute
Sean
nap or
and
something.
I've talked about this because he's around
Or
me
she
a lot.
used to.
Yeah.
I tend to have a fairly high gear in terms of grinding.
Yeah.
And what you end up doing is you snatch sleep. And where you can, you just snatch it.
Absolutely.
Grab
Usually
it.
when you're
and you come
talking to
back.
me.
Usually when I'm talking to you or talking to Chuck, I just boom.
I bring that out in people.
Well, you know, the first, I actually learned that from Quincy Jones. I was in a meeting with Quincy Jones, and he just decided mid-meeting he's going to grab himself 4 minutes. And everybody else just kept
Take it.
talking out of respect. We didn't know what to do.
Quincy probably knew what you said and jumped
you-
in when he came
well,
back
you end
to
up, that's what you end up doing. You come back and go, yeah,
I've
I
seen you
understand
do
that.
that.
Yeah, no, it's terrible. But
Yeah.
do you derive anything from that work ethic? Because you're having to hang with her.
Yeah, I mean,
Who wants to stay in shape,
You know,
eat
yeah, of course. I mean, working with her, the most important thing I learned, I think, was work ethic. And I had a pretty good work ethic prior to that.
Yeah.
My first couple weeks working with Duro, I remember clocking 120 hours, no problem, sleeping at the studio, 30-hour days.
Say hello to Duro for us, please. We got
You guys got to have him on the show.
Got to have him on the show. He's a favorite of mine. I consider him a friend. He's
one of my closest friends, but going back to the B topic, really working with her is a different level. There's levels to this, right? And there's just nothing that comes close. And it's not just about the hours. It's also about, I've done long sessions with rappers.
Right.
And a lot of those sessions are just chilling and hanging out, and that's just part of the vibe to get the energy of the song. With her, your mental sharpness has to be, at 100 every hour of the day. I remember coming in one day and out of nowhere, they're like, yeah, the Fela Kuti band from Broadway is going to come in.
Oh, remember that. We got to talk about that.
It's 22 pieces.
We got to talk
I'm like,
about that.
I wish I had some notice.
Hello.
That's not going to get set up in 2 seconds here.
Right.
And you just have to think on your feet. And so I, grabbed every assistant that I could find and said, all right, we have a lot of work to do. You handle this, you handle this, you handle this, and everybody, and that's sort of what I learned from her, is the ability to think quickly, think on your feet, and
She sharpens the knife.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Let's go back to Fela Kuti. Fela was one of my favorite artists, and I was so sad when he passed. You actually had them record, and you recorded them, but you took individual elements and turned those into tracks that ultimately made the record.
Yeah.
I mean, can you describe that process? So you got these gifted musicians, African musicians, and you're recording them. Did you plan on getting a song? You didn't know what you were going to get.
I had no idea. I don't find out till we do it usually.
Right.
So they came in and
I think you used a conga part from.
Yeah, we used some conga stuff, but it was a 22-piece band. There was multiple percussionists and everything. And yeah, we would basically record parts, take old samples, re-record them, and then we would just take loops out of it. And
but you knew you were going to later use those loops to create a song for her, or to embellish a mix, or?
I don't think when we were cutting it, we knew where it was going to be used.
That's so cool.
The whole idea was the initial inception for that record, and it sort of shifted towards the end, was this to incorporate an Afro beat into a pop record. That was the initial idea when she set out to make 4. And so the idea was, okay, let's get the band in, and who knows Afrobeat better than them? So let's just cut a bunch of things and we'll see where it fits. And yeah, that's sort of what we did. And some of it
made the record, though.
Yes, some elements of it made there might have been 1 or 2 pieces that made the record. Yeah.
And on that song, you set up a bunch of mics, like 5 or 6 mics, and let her choose one, and she chose the C24. That's kind of odd.
Yeah, we sort of did a shootout. We were at MSR Studios, Right Track Legacy, and just set up. I said, pull out all your best, vocal mics. Let's just see what she likes. So we set up a shootout, and she gravitated towards the C24.
You didn't feel uncomfortable? That's Beyonce asking her to. You didn't feel uncomfortable? She played along good?
Oh yeah, I mean she wants what's best for the record. So and it was about just giving her those options, and chose the C24. Certainly not that added its own headaches, because when you're traveling, she didn't have her own. We were just using the one at the studio and renting them. But I remember we were in Sydney, Australia, and I thought we were going to work out of a studio. We show up, it's like Jay and Kanye, they're working on Watch the Throne, and I'm sure Mike Dean probably talked to you guys about those sessions. He was out there. And we went up to the theater room in this like giant house. Like, yeah, we're just gonna set up here. Set up what? I didn't bring any gear. Nobody mentioned anything. You just put me on a flight. Right. And so I had to track down a whole Pro Tools rig, track down a 960, track down the mic, and we found like the only C24 that I could, working C24 in Sydney, at least that I could find in a day.
Wow.
And you had to jiggle the cable a little bit to get it working, and whatever. These are old mics.
Do you remember which song came out of that experience?
We sort of recorded everywhere. I mean, we did a lot in New York and moved around studios, and so I know, was it Dance for You? Like one of the verses came out of Sydney, and one was in England, and and maybe the hook was in New York, and we were cutting different elements at different times all over the place. So.
And that to me has become the norm
Yeah.
at that level. You cut
Yeah.
where you cut. There's no limitation. Chongor.
Throw it. Throw it. Throw it.
Beyonce, you have to stop calling. I know
think that
Swivel's
was
here.
Solange.
Oh, it might have been Solange. So, and then all the other experiences that you had with, Fabulous and Jay-Z.
Fabulous, yeah, that was my first. He was the first client who I ever worked with. That was less than a year out of school. I started.
You can say Full Sail.
Yeah, Full Sail. I started engineering for him, and what I did, when I started interning for Duro, I was just doing what everybody does, fetching the food and going on runs and cleaning the studio, and it was a small little setup. It was Duro, his assistant, and me. And 5 months into that internship, his assistant moved on to another opportunity, and of course,
Door opens.
Door opens.
Yeah.
And I was thrown in the fire, and then 2 months after that, Fab was starting to work, and I'd done 7 months. I told Duro, I said, I don't ever want you to pay me. You don't owe me a dime. Just make sure that when it's time, like, you put me in there. And 2 months later, Fab was about to start working. I pulled Duro aside and I said, I want to engineer for him. And he didn't give me an answer. And a few days later, when we did the first session, he called me. He said, all right, you're up. Let's see what you can do.
Boom.
And and I had built a rapport with Fab, and we just kind of got along, and I did 2 albums with him.
Because most of the work, Beyonce being obviously a wide swath of work in terms of genres,
Yeah.
pop and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
The stuff before that, was it mostly hip hop stuff?
It was mostly hip hop. Well, before beat. No, I mean, I was doing pop records. I'd mixed Jay Sean, Do You Remember, which was a top 10 record,
Yeah.
and mixed a few other things for him. So yeah, it was pop, urban, R&B, I'd say.
Because I find, interestingly enough, whether it's 40 or yourself or a bunch of other guys,
Yeah.
there's a sort of Canadian connection with an urban hip hop kind of thing.
I mean,
and
well,
it's
I had
fascinating to me.
Yeah, I had left Toronto prior to that whole explosion.
Gotcha.
Because there was nothing there.
Right.
And it's funny. A funny Drake story is we have mutual friends in Toronto, and he was looking for an engineer, and I don't know if he knew 40 at that time. And I was connected to him. I have the emails, and he was looking for an engineer. I think there was a miscommunication. I was in New York at that time, and I had seen his stuff on MySpace, and I kind of knew what he was doing. I was like, I'd totally love to work with him, but I thought he would maybe come down to New York.
Right.
So there was a, but you can never know
never
when
know.
somebody's going to be that,
You never
right?
know.
So, and actually it's for the best, because him and 40 have this amazing
Magical.
chemistry that,
Magical.
if he wasn't there, who's to say,
Right.
I mean, I think talent is one thing, but there's also something, the
there's
stars
some-
aligned there
absolutely.
in a really unique way. So it worked out for the best, because I'm a huge fan, and I get great music out of it. So
So, you got the #1 song in the country right now.
I do, yeah.
What was that?
That was such an unexpected thing, the way the closer...
The Chainsmokers, the hottest group
Yeah,
on there. Halsey
they're-
killed it.
but-
Did you
but-
record that vocal?
So I did the vocal production on Halsey. I did the mix, and even ended up singing some of the background vocals on it.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, how cool is that?
Well, I approach mixing from I'm a producer too. I write music, and I approach mixing from a producer's ear. And I think a lot of people do that. I'm not unique in that way, but I'm also willing to take risks and try things. And honestly, the hook vocal sounded great, but there was something that wasn't gluing it together. So it was more or less an idea. I cut 3 vocal parts and I sent it to the boys, and I gave them options. I said, here's one with and here's one without. And if you like the one with, I'll cut you on it for free, because I want the record to be as good as it can be. And they said, no, you sound great. We're going to keep you on it.
Oh, cool.
Excuse me
Yeah.
1 second. Hey, Leandro, make a note to have me sing on more records. Okay, where were we?
Yeah, first time I'd ever done that, but at the end of the day,
That's my problem. I haven't been singing enough on my records.
Yeah, I agree.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, I mean our job is to make the record as good as it can
I agree.
possibly be.
I agree. In fact, you
And
and
if
I,
that's-
we talked earlier, and
If that's changing a kick drum, it's changing a kick drum. If that's
Well, and also let me point this out too, because I think that a lesson for our audience is go on and take the challenge. Like you kind of have to have the cojones to make that move.
Take the risk.
A lot of people won't, exactly, a lot of people won't take the risk, and you'll never find that edge of the
That edge,
envelope
yeah.
if you don't step out there.
But at
Don't
the
you
same
think?
time,
you have to be smart.
Have the know when it's okay to take the risk.
Oh, yeah,
and,
absolutely.
And just
I mean,
come up- just
I would
come up-
never in a million years sing on a B record.
Right, no, absolutely.
You know?
I call that reading the room.
Yeah,
You
reading
need
the
to know
room,
how to read the
exactly.
room.
You have to
But
have
also,
that
too, it's
perceptiveness.
easy.
Absolutely.
Just come up with something better.
Well, that's what you do. I
Yeah.
mean, not
Not
very many
always.
people
I
can
can't
get
say
to
that. Not always.
I mean, you're like the Splash
I try.
Brothers in one guy.
I try.
Yeah,
I'm getting all humble for a second. Okay, the humble's gone.
Yeah, it's rare.
I raised my temperature. The Chainsmokers are known to kind of be one of those types of production entities, like a lot of the dance world, where they select the exact sounds they want, and they're pretty good about that. Extremely
Absolutely.
good about it. There's better
good as you can be, yeah.
So when you're mixing a record like that, describe the process within the limits of NDA, but how would that differ than, say, you're mixing for Beyonce? What liberties would be different, and how do you approach the mix? The same way?
Well, mixing for B, I was also a tracking engineer, so we had spent over a year working on that album.
Mm-hmm.
The songs were the way she wanted. There wasn't, if there was room to experiment, and there was I did drum programming and little things on some of the songs in that process. That happened prior to mixing, right? So it was a slight different sort of approach. With them, honestly, first of all, they're so down to earth, they're so chill, and they're just like my boys, and they trust me and what I do, and also they don't just hand me the song and we're done. Drew comes in and sits in, and we, if we have to swap out drums during the mix because we think we have something better, we'll do it. So the final layer of production is happening while we're mixing, and he's in the room, and that's sort of the way it works.
Well,
so
it sounds like with Beyonce, you're always mixing, even when you're tracking, and with Chainsmokers, you're always mixing, even when mixing.
yeah.
Do they write their own stuff, Chainsmokers?
Yeah, they write a lot of their own. I mean, of course, they make all their own tracks.
Sure,
And
yeah.
and actually, they're writing some of the top lines.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But not every. I mean,
everything.
they'll take a record, but they also write their own. I mean, Closer, Drew wrote.
Gotcha.
That came from personal experience.
And
so.
it because you can feel when I listen to their records and the mixes you do with them, there's a signature that they have to what they do that makes it Chainsmoker.
Yeah, it's
Like,
the lyrics are so honest, and I think that's one of the transitions that's happening in music right now. The honesty of that lyric in the hook, I think, is what people are connecting to. There's something really, it's just sort of a.
But there's also this. I agree with you.
Yeah.
But there's also a balance with their sound. There's
From
there's a
my
signature
perspective,
sound.
I don't mean to cut you off, but from my perspective, there's guys that do straight up EDM, there's guys that do straight up trap, and then there's guys that don't have any names for what they do. They just draw from all their inspiration. So you might
Exactly.
have a drop
way to
that's
put it.
trap, and then the rest of the song might be more traditional. There's 8 million categories of EDM, so I was
Yeah.
trying to choose one. I couldn't
Yeah.
think of one.
I actually
But you could
don't-
just say
I
pop,
actually-
really.
Yeah, I actually
mean,
don't put them in any category. There's just kind of a Chainsmoker
Yeah.
thing that's really cool.
Yeah, I mean they've done a
But
really.
you can tell them on the radio, though.
Yeah, I mean they've done a great
Fine.
job of their DJs, of course, and so that I think that puts them in the EDM category. But
it's beyond.
they're
It's
they
EDM
they've
plus
found a way
plus.
to cross it over to a broader audience.
But it feels natural. That it's not like they were looking for something. It was just a growth. It felt like, because Roses is different than Don't Let Me Down. Or is that the right title?
Yeah, Don't Let Me Down,
or,
Roses.
Or
yeah.
Closer. They're you can tell it's the same group.
There's similarities, but there's
Yeah.
an evolution between them. And
Yeah.
yeah, totally.
Are they in LA? Are they based?
Well, so I met them in New York,
Okay.
and then I moved to LA 18 months ago, and they not followed me, but they moved to LA 6 months after that. So
But they live here.
they live here now. Yeah.
I'll give you $20 if you can get them on the show.
Well, they had so they're in LA today, and I actually spoke to them this morning. I said, how fun would it be if we surprised them? And they just said, honestly, we would totally do it, but today's like the craziest
But here's
day.
the good news.
But we'll have you on every. We'll
Here's the good
have
news.
you on
There's
every
other
day.
Tuesdays in
Yeah,
the year.
yeah, yeah.
So
We'll make
work
that
it
happen.
out.
We'll
and
make it
you
happen.
come back with them. And
Yeah,
we'll do
absolutely.
something.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You can do the interview.
Hey,
Absolutely.
Swivel's place.
Absolutely. Swiv's place.
Swivel on
In
this.
fact, I forgot. That's how you got the nickname, right? Swivel's place.
Well, no, it's from this chair.
Yeah.
See, Swiv.
Yeah.
So now here's what's fascinating to me. And this is interesting for the audience, I think, and I hope, There's a certain time where you get to a place in your career where your options open up.
Yeah.
And depending on the choices, so what I like and I find interesting, and maybe we're kindred spirits in this way, is when you're creative, it's hard to box creativity. So,
It is.
you know, you're really a tech entrepreneur, you have other things going on.
Yeah.
And I find that one thing, I know in my case, one thing feeds another.
Yeah.
Like if I'm writing the award show and casting that, it makes me think about what I'm going to do with Gear Expo, and it makes me think about what I'm going to do with this week's show, and it makes me, and I just get stimulated from it. Is that?
Yeah, I mean,
Because tell us the other things you have going on.
yeah.
too.
So my creativity is obviously grounded in music, but of course, you know, I started or co-founded a company called Skio Music, which is a scalable, a place for creatives to go and handle all their licensing needs and finding new content. And
It's very smart, guys. You should check it out. I mean, what he's basically doing, tell me if I get it right, is he's allowing you guys to have a place where you can go to make sure that you're protected contractually, that you can sign these templates by some really good attorneys that make sense as a baseline, and that between getting paid and licensing and all kinds of stuff, you can do that online and protect yourself.
And do it with great content, which would normally require
a whole other level of stuff.
a whole other level of lawyers and all these other
absolutely.
things. So
really smart thing.
yeah, it's a great thing, and it's sort of step one in people make music differently now. Most kids, everybody's got a laptop.
That's right.
Anybody can download a cracked piece of software or whatever. There's very little barriers to get into making music as opposed to how it used to be. And so if you can create music so easily, why can't you release music so easily? And so our goal is to make it easier for the technology and sort of the laws to reflect the way that people actually make music today.
Can I speak to, as somebody who likes the business of music, something that you're doing that you may or may not have heard that you guys should appreciate? There's been so much dismissive kind of treatment of content creators. Whether intended or not is not really the point, but when you get a big monolith and they pay each other a lot of money, they tend to not make sure the content creators get protected.
Exactly.
And so we've seen all these industries grow, whether it's streaming services or some of the music services in Silicon Valley and so on and so forth. What you're doing is saying, hey guy, content creator, let me create something that also protects you.
Yeah.
And that is a market maker. There may be others that are doing so. I'm just applauding you for taking the approach where, because everybody likes to sort of dismiss the great unwashed, but they're the people making the music.
Yeah.
We don't have the music if we don't protect it. So good for you, man.
And I agree with Herb 100%. We probably at some point should have a panel because
we should.
Because
we absolutely
it's
should.
not a stand back and watch them give you money. It takes participation like you're doing and being proactive. And I'm not that guy. Herb is that guy. You're that guy. But we need to be more educated and more proactive in making sure that they know we want a certain piece of the pie, because that's a big part of the problem.
And it's a tough challenge because
we let all these things go by, and all of a sudden we're coming from behind.
Yeah, it's a tough challenge getting all of the the complexity in copyright and licensing.
It's massive.
You have how many owners on one song? You might have 5 writers, 5 publishers, the record label, the artist. You have all these different people who have a voice, and legally speaking, they can exercise that voice.
That's right.
And there's no easy way to connect all those dots and just make it happen in an instant. And that's our goal. Is to make the technology transparent and just make it easy. If I want to license this song, I want to remix this song, I can do it really quickly.
Kudos to you, and it comes from the place
where
because you care, because you're a music maker.
Yeah.
And you've seen it. Yeah. So it's part of your soul.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I'm sure you guys have over the years at some point dealt with it too.
It's amazing.
Dealing with the business of music, nobody really enjoy. You might enjoy the business of music. We love making music.
To do it.
We like creating. I like getting my creative juices flowing and just listening to music and making great records.
Right.
If I can make the pain of the business even just diminish that a little bit, then I think I've done a good job. So that's sort of our goal.
And with that, because I also find that people with great capacity don't stop at one thing. I bet there's something always percolating in your head, about what else is going to go on.
Yeah.
Do they feed each other? Does being stimulated over here feed back to your musical side?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm just generally speaking, like I said, all my creativity is grounded in music, but beyond that, I mean, we were talking earlier, you know, I'm looking at houses. I'd rather just build my own house because I feel like that would be a really fun project, and I, you know, I love design and all these other things. It's not.
Not in California.
But you can think about it.
I'm learning. Well, I'm learning that, but yeah, I mean, music sort of grounds it all. But there's so many other things in tech, and you know, I also co-own a magazine called Headliner.
Yep.
You know, so I do a lot of writing for that, and all of these things sort of. You know, just go back to the beginning, which is making music. And at the end of the day, we talked about this earlier, I get bored pretty quickly.
Yeah,
so
right.
Having your feet in multiple sort of areas just helps me, honestly, just be happy.
What's your musical taste? What kind of stuff do you like?
I listen to everything. When I was growing up, Michael Jackson was like my favorite thing, and then
Dangerous is in the car right now, actually.
Dangerous was the first record I ever. I didn't purchase my first record I ever had that my mom bought for me.
You? Oh, cool.
And then of course I went back and got Thriller and the other ones.
Sure.
I mean, a lot of hip hop. I listened to like Nirvana and Smashing Pumpkins in like the mid '90s. And first album I ever bought with my own money was No Doubt's Tragic Kingdom. Great record.
Great record.
And yeah, then a lot of hip hop, Tupac and Biggie and Jay-Z was, you know, I was a huge fan of Jay-Z in high school, and then being able to work with him later was
amazing,
just such a cool moment for me.
Okay, I got to get some technical stuff in here.
Yeah.
Am I hearing when you replace some kick drum samples that you actually tune the sample down an octave? Am I hearing that in your stuff?
I have done that. I wouldn't say it's like a regular thing, but
what a cool thing.
If you take one sometimes if a kick drum isn't right and it doesn't have the low end, sometimes, I mean, you know, you throw an EQ on it, try and boost it, and you're still not getting what you want.
Yeah.
Well, if you just drop it down an octave, now all of a sudden you have these new low harmonics that didn't exist before, and yeah, it helps.
And
so.
speaking of harmonics, another thing it seems like you really love is, I hate this term, but we have to use it, distortion. Like you use distortion to create a color in a vibe, not to make it
Tasteful
distorted. Yeah.
Distortion.
What's some of your go-to techniques for that? Particularly, like you use it on vocals, you use it on overheads, everything. And if we toss in some bit crushing and bit lowering rate, you put lo-fi on reverbs.
Yeah, I try not to go too crazy with that stuff. I treat that like a production tool. So,
but it's very musical the way you use it. That's my point.
Thank you. Yeah, normally, so one thing that I'll do on vocals a lot, I'm pretty sure I did on School and Life, maybe that's what you're referring to, is I'll just like, you know, duplicate the lead vocal, and I'll have the same effects on both, but then the double of it, I'll just crush it and then lower it to a really, really low level.
On that one, didn't you take the deverb and just a hall or something, and you took it the bit rate down to 12 or something?
I'll be honest with you,
I
don't remember.
I know, I read that. So.
Yeah, then I probably did. Honestly, it's hard to. That was 5 years ago. So, but then we talked earlier, and I thought it was so interesting. You remember everything.
Well,
that
just
you,
about.
Or just about, which is I think amazing.
If I liked it, I remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sort of empty up there, so he's got room for it.
A lot of room to remember.
Well, it's empty because I got the best manager on earth to take care of everything for me except
it's just
filling this up.
It's just two empty-headed people who are friends with each other. Chongor, you got something for us?
Got some really good ones. This
What you
first
got,
one's
man?
from James Hammond. What is the greatest word of encouragement that you've gotten from the artists that you've worked with?
That's a good question,
That's a
Chongor.
good question.
Greatest word of encouragement.
And then the least encouraging comment, follow that.
Starts with an F and then goes to a Y.
Thankfully, that doesn't happen too often.
Cool.
Greatest word of encouragement. I'm trying to think.
Probably Duro.
Well, yeah. I mean, Duro's always been really proud of what I've done, and when I look back on my career, sort of, it wasn't the intention, but making him proud sort of mattered. I learned everything from him. I credit my entire career with starting with him. And he's still one of my close friends. You know, when he comes to LA, he stays with me. Like, that's family. So he inducted me into the Full Sail Hall of Fame. Like, you know,
fantastic.
So that's my guy. So you know, it was actually a really great moment this year when he did induct me, you know, he mentioned a few stories that even I forgot, and yeah, you could just tell that my success mattered as much to him. He felt like
so
he did something
We
right.
gotta have him on the show.
Well, and it's important to have a North Star.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
I find that reaching for something all the time
And
is a healthy
with him,
thing.
it wasn't just musically speaking.
Right.
I learned a lot about mixing and whatever. And by the way, we never sat down. He never gave me a mix lesson or anything like that. I just, being his assistant, it's osmosis, right?
And he cares about you as a person.
Cares about me as a person, but also almost everything I know about the music business, how to just deal with business and all that is from him.
Yeah,
you know,
it's good
really
stuff.
smart guy.
Sean, you got another one?
Yeah, dude, this one's from Stephen Coro. How do you find ways to sonically stand out when mixing, and how far along in the process do you get involved with the Chainsmokers? Are they playing your mix revisions out in their live sets, etc.?
Okay, so you'll have to repeat the first one, but I'll answer the second one first because I know exactly what it is. Yes, so I'll do a mix and they will play it out in their sets sometimes and feel it out. Usually when that happens, we're already pretty happy with it, but we might still do a couple tweaks later, and they've been playing a couple new songs that we
Can I throw one
just
in here real
finished.
quick?
and-
Pretty cool.
What are the? What do they do? Do they use a lot of virtual keyboards, or if I'm getting an NDA, stop me. But are they?
No.
Do they use a lot of old school keyboards, or what do they use for keyboards?
As far as in their production,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's all in the box. I'm
Wow.
actually helping them build a studio now. We are going to pick up some really cool vintage keyboards and some Moogs
And drums, they just
and whatever. But everything is everything's they work in Ableton and I think he does have a sub fatty for some bass stuff, but
the Rob Pappin.
no, it's a Moog
Oh,
sub
the
fatty.
Moog, the
a
single
little
Moog, yeah.
and but for the most part, everything's in the box. Everything's
All right, Mr. Sportsman, how's your arm?
We forgot something.
Oh, what's that?
The biggest insult you ever got. Thought you were gonna slide that by, didn't you, Mr. Swivel?
biggest
Could have been one of your batter's box questions.
biggest insult I ever got from a client. Probably from my brother.
No, from
honestly,
your
I have an identical twin brother, so
Do you?
our
No.
entire lives is
Does he
just
work in music, too?
competition. No, he works in real estate development, does really well at that.
Oh, cool.
And builds condos in Toronto.
Oh, cool.
And but yeah, our entire lives was
I
fighting
can
over
only
friends,
imagine.
over girls,
Sure.
over school, who's smarter, who's
Right,
career.
right,
So we
right.
always have a back and forth. I'll
that's
do
super
something. I
cool.
think I've got the moment right now, being on Pensado's place.
Absolutely.
And then
Hey,
next
bro.
week,
What's his name?
Matthew.
Matthew, what's happening?
Yeah.
Hey, man. All right, let's get some batter's box going here. Your arm's loose.
A little footnote. I got a feeling this could be the day.
Okay,
I
did
got
you
some
win
good
one?
ones. I got some good
Because there's some
ones.
great Canadian baseball players.
Nice.
So, here we go. And I think he's combining hockey and football.
Name one. Pierre Monton from Quebec.
How'd you know?
Yeah.
I think we got hockey covered though.
We got hockey covered. Canadians, all kinds of stuff. Toronto Red. So here we go. Fire it up.
Bass.
Sub fatty.
Piano.
Alicia Keys.
808.
Love.
Lexicon 960.
My old comrade. Not anymore.
Vocals.
Smooth.
Virtual guitar.
Guitar rig.
I thought I had him.
Nope.
Flangers.
Sometimes.
Sometimes on drums.
Yeah.
Delay.
H delay.
Ooh. Waves. Samples.
Always.
Stereo bus.
Not much.
If your little tiny Canadian ice-filled studio caught fire, you gotta try her. You gotta try.
He lives in L.A., man.
Yeah, but he imports ice.
Okay.
Don't you do that?
I import smoked meat.
That's true. Golly, why'd you throw me off,
I'm
man?
sorry, man.
If your studio caught fire, don't. The answer can't be like computers or anything like that. But what one piece of equipment would you rescue?
Hard drive. Does that count as
let's
computer?
try. Give me something interesting. You're winning anyway, so just try.
What one piece would I rescue? How I don't know. I mean, everything. Oh, my speakers.
Okay.
Ah,
Yeah.
what are they?
No. Why would you rescue Genelec 1031s? I hate those
Hold on.
speakers.
Not 1031s. No. I started on 1031s. The 8351 is what I use now, and they are.
I like those.
They are a dream.
And by the
they
way,
tune to your room, and when you're working I mix at home. They do a really great job of making your room sound like it's supposed to.
I don't really hate Genelecs. I just don't understand them, except for a pair Shakira brought in to Hit Factory in Miami when I worked with her. Those were the greatest sounding speakers I ever heard.
Yeah.
Well, that was.
But the rest of them I don't like.
That's one of the smoothest ass-kicking Canadian batter's boxes.
Well,
we've
you
ever
know
had.
what? Hate's too strong a word.
Because Canadians are smooth, and he was just so effortless. He's not even sweating.
Not sweat. It's pretty chilly in here. Actually, so.
He has
like
a jacket on.
Hence the jacket.
No, I knew I lost like question 8.
Two or three in, absolutely.
Yeah. He practiced. I don't know how he got that.
Did you have some? I'd love to know what your guesses would have been.
Okay. Piano, Bosendorfer, because I like the extra 4 keys. Bass, Jaco Pastorius. Distortion, Saturn. 808, anything Mike Dean does. Vocals,
I have a better answer for the 808, by the way.
what is it?
Boom. Boom. Nice job, JD or Leandro. No
A producer
question.
who I worked with, I just mixed a few records like a year ago, and he said, "Wow, you're the 808 whisperer." And now I sort of have used that. I've adopted that a
808
little
whisperer.
bit. Yeah.
Delay, my outboard TC-D2, which is not working right now. Virtual guitar, S-Gear by Scuff'em. Thanks, Joe Barisi, for that. Flanger, the Blue MXR, the little single one. Love that one. Samples, anything I rip off from records, because that's why I rip them off. I like them.
Right.
Stereo bus, API 250, 2500. The individual plug-in of the Isotope Maximizer 7. And-
The Ozone 7.
Yeah, Ozone 7.
Okay.
And then somewhere in the middle of that chain, something Leandro says I have to use. Fire. I wouldn't rescue Leandro. He'd make it out for me and wouldn't rescue me. No, he would. I would say.
Herb.
I would say.
Probably those new speakers you just
I
got.
would say definitely that. Probably a piece of gear would probably be my Mog EQ4 or either my outboard Cush Clariphonic. Either the.
See, I'm in the box, so there's not a lot of gear for me to bring with me. Just the speakers.
I'm in the box
but, yeah. Well, one thing I'll change. I said on the master
Hold
bus.
on. That was good, right?
Okay. Yeah, it was
I
great.
give you a
Loved
compliment, damn it.
Oh, absolutely. No, it was great.
Thank you.
But I
thank
use
you,
the
thank you.
SPL Vitalizer a lot on the master bus sometimes. Yeah.
The outboard.
No, just the plug-in.
Plug-in. I love
Yeah.
that plug-in too.
Now, from what I gather in our prior conversation, speaking to folks, and because you do stuff at NYU and you do stuff at
Full
Full
Sail a
Sail
lot,
and other
yeah.
places, we're going to have you join us on some things. We do a lot of stuff
that'd be
around the
great.
country.
Say, one of the biggest things, really important to me, is education.
Yeah.
I actually have a student who I've sponsored for a scholarship who's killing it right now,
Great.
and Kasim, he knows who he is.
Cool.
And yeah, it's so important to sort of pass that knowledge along, and you guys do such an amazing job with Pensado's Place, and have sort of like
Thanks.
opened up, made what we do more accessible. So I applaud you guys for that. And
You're
yeah.
going to join us. I think we're considering some New York events, and we should talk about that.
I'm
Yeah.
there.
Cool.
I'm there. Yeah.
For holding up the flag, well done, O Canada.
Yeah.
We are great admirers of your career. Thanks for the quick turnaround. You
Thank
hit
you.
me, we hit me.
Yeah.
Josh Goodwin and Buffy, thank you.
And shout to Josh, who's
Yeah,
a good
just
friend
amazing.
and
You might have
amazing.
forgotten, but September 27th around noon, we're holding the Chainsmokers fan club meeting here. It'd be nice to have them here for that.
I'll
is that
I'll
a
work on
Tuesday?
that. I'll
Between
work on
12 and 2. Okay, cool. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I know.
It's a breakfast and a lunch. It goes all day. I got you,
yeah,
got
they should be
you.
here. It's
Swift, thanks, man.
Thank you so much.
We'll do some stuff.
Yeah.
Dave, take us home.
Hey guys, when I was preparing for today's show, I'm stating the obvious a little bit, but it really hit me hard how the current technology has really impacted the way us engineers do things, and I'm saying infinitely for the better, because it's opened up access to a lot more people that have serious skills. Our friend Josh Goodwin, Swivel, they epitomize what you can do with the technology that we have nowadays. And and as he said, you don't need a big room. You can make great records on a train. Like, oh man, I tell you what, it's just a wonderful time to have these tools available. Check it out. Start small, and hope to see you on the show in a couple of years. All right.
See ya.
Bye bye.
Peace.